welcome to another episode of Some of Our Parts, the podcast where two friends talk about the movies that add up to make us who we are. I'm Lindsay,
And I'm Jim.
and this week Jim picked our movie. So, Jim, what did you have us watch?
Well, it was on my list, and in honor of passing I think, a really, really fine actor, I thought we'd go ahead and talk about it today. And it's Jurassic Park from 1993 with Sam Neill. So we've seen him before in one of my other movies,
Hmm?
but I really think this one he really stands out. And this was another, well, surprise, a Steven Spielberg blockbuster. So
Yeah,
for the time in 93. And I remember seeing this at the movie theaters. And I actually really liked the music. Well, who wouldn't like the music? It's John Williams.
John Williams. Yeah.
And I have the soundtrack to this, but I thought it was so well done that this is the only John Williams movie soundtrack that I own is from this one.
Mhm.
But anyway, so yeah, that's what I picked for us in honor of Sam's passing. But also, I think it's just a really good movie and very entertaining. Um,
Absolutely. And I
um,
think Steven Spielberg is like the king of the summer blockbuster, right? Like,
yeah, I
we've
mean,
talked about Jaws, and I think this just kind of continues that streak.
that theme where it's a big movie and it's big effects, but it's I don't know, it's just, but there's also great story,
Yeah.
and there's like different storylines, and they
Hmm.
all sort of, come together and intersect. I just think he really does that really well.
Yeah, there's like
Y-
character and character development on top of like the big stuff.
right, like E.T., just all those movies. But yeah, this one, and I still remember seeing this at the movie theater. And I'm 99% sure I saw it at the Senator Theater here in Baltimore. Which
Nice.
was great, great sound system. And then, especially with
The
by the way,
T-Rex,
yeah, the T-Rex, I was going to say,
the
by the way, folks,
stomps.
if you don't know already, it's about dinosaurs. But also the sound the T-Rex makes, that loud, however they, made the roar and stuff. So it's just, it was like ear splitting. And you've seen the movie, but you did not see it when it first came out.
Correct. So I was 3 when it came out, and I think I was a very easily scared kid. So I know that my family owned it, like on VHS. I remember seeing it in the cabinet under the
Oh,
TV.
okay. Oh, yeah.
But we never, it was never like put forth to me to watch, and I didn't ask. So I watched it for the first time when I was in high school. When I was a junior in high school, I took zoology. Shout out to Mr. Reeser. And we watched this at like the end of the year. So
What?
it's sort of like flexing the limits of what's educational, but no one had any complaints. So
What? Did you watch it in one class setting? Like, because it's a
I know
long
I think
movie.
I think we had to, I think it was like, I think it probably just took
Yeah.
2 days
Okay.
to watch it. So,
Oh, yeah.
but
Cool.
yeah, that was the first time I watched it. And I've like, I think this was the first time since then maybe that I've sat and watched the whole thing all the way through. Like it comes on TV a fair amount.
It
So
still does.
I catch whatever like bits I can, but I think this is the first time in a while that I've watched the entire thing. But yeah, I think that the fact that it does still come on TV, obviously like it's spawned a whole franchise, but also like it's because it holds up. Like this is still the effects in this movie are better than many movies that are coming out now with like the computer generated stuff, and there's obviously a lot of like practical
Hmm.
like things actually built like the dinosaurs. Like it looks, even the computer generated stuff looks better than some stuff does today.
I agree. And I still think about this one, even that, like you said, it spawned a franchise. I think this one is still top of the hill. So
Yeah.
the other ones, I just don't really think they hold a candle. The early ones, there was some of the characters came back, and then we have the later ones, with Chris Pratt and stuff. And
Hmm.
I just I've seen. I won't say I've seen all of them, but I've seen most of
Yeah.
them. But they just don't, to me, they just don't compare. Maybe because this is the first one.
Hmm.
But we can go back to Star Wars. The first Star Wars made the biggest impression because it was the first one, but
Hmm.
I don't think it's the best one of the franchise.
Yeah.
You and I both, we talked about that.
Yeah.
But this one I do think is the best of the franchise, in my
Yeah.
opinion.
I've only seen the first Chris Pratt one, so Jurassic World, which is like whatever. It's fine. I did not the characters and stuff were I don't think were as good. Like
No.
Ellie Sattler wasn't running around in heels from dinosaurs, okay?
Hmm.
Like Bryce Dallas Howard was, but and I've seen the beginning of the second one, The Lost World, with like the little tiny dinosaurs and the little girl. I've seen that
Yeah.
part, but I haven't watched the whole thing because I was like,
Well, even the
who
ones
needs
that
that?
came out after this one, I think Sam Neill was in the second one, and I
Hmm.
believe, and I know Jeff Goldblum was in one or two of the sequels and stuff.
Yeah, I think the second one has like Julianne Moore's in it or something.
Yeah, yeah. Because I think she's looking for a family member or something. I forget what all
Mm.
the plots were, but this one to me, like I said, it's still, yeah, the it's still watchable, I think. And like you said, I still think the special effects for a 30-year-old movie are excellent. Even if it when you stop it and stuff, and then and there's the mechanical effects and so on. So of course, you have the animatronics or whatever you want to call it.
Hmm.
So
Yeah. But it's just like it looks so good. Just like the everything.
hmm.
The all the dinosaurs. I read too, I feel like I had heard that like the part in like the kitchen with the velociraptors that there was like it was like people with like the they were wearing like the feet
Oh,
walking, you know?
oh, that's pretty cool. And then that's how
I
they
yeah.
did the shooting and stuff with the
Yeah, like when you
chasing and
see like their feet under the
mm-hmm.
thing, like it's like
Mm-hmm.
that's a person wearing like velociraptor
Raptor
feet.
feet.
Yeah. I think
That'd be a
I'm pretty sure that I read that. Yeah.
that'd be a great credit, wouldn't it? To be like,
Yeah.
oh,
Oh,
did you ever see Jurassic Park? I was in that. Oh, really? Yeah. Well, my feet were. You know.
oh, pause it, pause it. You see those
Yeah.
feet?
Yep.
That's
Yep.
me. That's
That's
me.
me. That's me.
Look, watch me do the walk.
So you saw it later on, and you said this is the first time though you've watched it all the way through, probably since high school.
Probably, probably. Yeah, I can't recall sitting all the way through it since then. I've
I,
watched, many,
yeah. To
parts,
me,
but
this is one of the ones where if I see it on TV and if I've got
hmm.
nothing else pressing, I got to turn this on because, and
Yeah.
again, there's so many memorable scenes, and I think it's not like quotable like Jaws or The Godfather, but there are a few quips and lines in it, that I always
Hmm.
think that's funny, so
Yeah.
or memorable. So
Yeah, and I feel like it's one of those things that people like hook on to their particular quotes. Like I have a friend who always likes to go, "Clever girl."
yeah, that's one. And I always like the line that Jeff Goldblum talks about, the Pirates of the Caribbean, ride. He goes, yeah, but when the pirates run amok, they don't eat the customers.
Yes,
They don't eat the tourists. So
exactly.
so anyway.
Absolutely. And the other thing too that I think is cool, so I a few years ago went to Hawaii and we did a helicopter tour around the island of Oahu. And so you can see some of the areas where they shot
Oh, oh, cool.
this. So like the sort of big like green area. I think I made a note somewhere. Oh, like when they're coming in and they first see the island and you can it's kind of all green. I think that's where
Oh,
we
okay.
flew over. Yeah, and the of course the helicopter pilot started playing
The
the
music.
music. Yeah.
That's pretty
When
cool.
we were like over that sort of valley. So it was cool. I thought about that when I watched it. I was like, oh, I think I've been there in a helicopter, just like the people.
Didn't a little bit part of you really like want to go see and like, is there a dinosaur down there? Like just maybe.
I thought about it too when I went. A couple years before that, I went to Costa Rica, and this Isla Nublar is supposed to be off of Costa Rica. It's like, hmm,
Could it
can I
be?
see anything out there?
Could it be? Uh, well, and we'll talk about it as you talk about the movie, but the source material for this, so
Yes.
which is and which I had read before the movie came out because
Okay.
I'm a big Michael Crichton fan, so
Okay.
um, but and I was impressed on with what they came up with because there
Hmm.
had been some dinosaur movies before this back in the 50s and stuff, and the B movies
Hmm.
and I am a sucker for cheesy B movies,
Of
especially
course.
it's ones that kind of try to be scary and stuff. But I remember this looked nothing at all like any of those movies.
Hmm.
With the especially with the way the dinosaurs moved and the way they interacted and so on and so forth. So
Mm. Yeah. Yeah. Well, on that note, so it this movie is based on a novel written by Michael Crichton. So Michael Crichton wrote many novels. He wrote actually have a book of his short stories like right near me called Travels. He also wrote like The Andromeda Strain and various other things. So Steven Spielberg and his production company optioned the novel Jurassic Park for like a ton of money, and then they paid more money to Michael Crichton to adapt it into a screenplay, and then they brought in another screenwriter who did kind of the final draft. Michael Crichton also famously created the acclaimed television program ER. So he's hits across the board from Michael Crichton.
forever in our hearts, right? So
Exactly,
yeah,
exactly. And he passed away several years ago at a kind of early because he I believe he had cancer.
I was going to yeah because he wasn't that old, I don't
No.
believe, but yeah, just it was I would say well before his time. So
Yeah.
vivid, fabulous imagination.
Yeah.
And
Also, he got an MD from Harvard Medical School, but never became a doctor. He decided to focus on writing instead.
how smart would you have to be to get an MD from Harvard Medical School and then decide, nah, I'm going to write books instead,
Mm-hmm.
and TV shows and movies. So,
Right.
uh, but
Right. But you can also see like the influence of that in the stuff that he's
oh,
created too.
oh
Like a
yeah,
lot
yeah,
of the science and genetic modification and all of that kind of stuff.
yeah, because it's it's one of the there's a lot of like based in fact as opposed to or in scientific truths or
Mm-hmm.
theories as opposed to just oh we found a place that all of a sudden that dinosaurs exist, like it's not like we just stumbled across an island like Skull Island for King Kong and then that
Mm-hmm.
the land that time forgot or whatever that
Yeah.
everybody's a Neanderthal and there's still dinosaurs and giant pterodactyls and stuff. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
Yeah.
this is a classic, yeah, classic case of scientists recreating that.
Yeah.
Yeah, to me, after watching the movie and reading the book, it's like, oh, I guess they could do that. Well,
Yeah, yeah. And I think that that's one of the quotes that always sticks with me when Jeff Goldblum says like they were too caught up in like realizing they could that they didn't stop to think if they should, which is like such a motto for like so much technological advancement.
just because you can doesn't mean you should. So
Yeah,
yeah,
exactly. Exactly. So
um,
the other writer who worked on the screenplay was David Koepp, who he's collaborated a lot with Steven Spielberg, including he like helped write this. He wrote the sequel to This is the Lost World, Jurassic Park. He wrote War of the Worlds, Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull, which he should keep a secret. He wrote Disclosure Day, which is the most recent one, but he also wrote Carlito's Way, Mission Impossible.
mm,
He wrote the first Tobey Maguire Spider-Man. He wrote the last Indiana Jones movie that I didn't see, The Dial of Destiny.
He should keep
And
that one a secret too.
yeah, and the last Jurassic World movie, Jurassic World Rebirth. So, highs and lows, but he's certainly writing some big things, David Koepp. So, good for you. And as we said, this movie is directed by Steven Spielberg, who we've talked about a few times now. I think this is the fourth Steven Spielberg we've done. But he, just to name a few, if you've like watched a movie, you've probably watched a Steven Spielberg movie, or at the very least one that he produced, even if it's not one that he directed. But just ones he directed, the ones we've talked about, Raiders of the Lost Ark, Jaws, and Saving Private Ryan. He also directed E.T., Close Encounters of the Third Kind, West Side Story, The Color Purple, AI Artificial Intelligence, Lincoln, The Fablemans, War of the Worlds, War Horse, Schindler's List.
That was the one I was, excuse me, go say Schindler's List is, is such a diverse group of, genres of movies. It's
Mm-hmm.
not like he's known. I mean, I guess he's probably more known for the big blockbuster movies, but I mean, there's so many other good movies in there too.
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
Yeah.
the Color Purple,
Mm-hmm.
Schindler's, movies
Yeah.
in
The
history.
Fablemans is like
You
basically like his autobiography. And it's really good. I
you
enjoyed
said that
it.
you'd enjoyed that a lot, so
Hmm.
which I haven't seen that, but that's on my list now to see though because of your recommendation. So,
Yeah. The main kid in it is basically like Steven Spielberg as a kid. So,
oh, okay.
but yeah, and he also has co-founded Amblin Entertainment and DreamWorks, which are two big like studios. So here's just a couple things he's produced. Poltergeist, Gremlins, Back to the Future, An American Tail, Who Framed Roger Rabbit, Animaniacs, Pinky and the Brain, Twister, Band of Brothers, and Transformers. Again, very diverse, but all like good.
Yeah, I was good. Yeah, when you look at the body of work overall, I mean,
Hmm.
there's everyone's not everyone's going to hit bat 1,000, but
Yeah.
there's a solid core. There's a lot of directors, I'm sure, or producers that would, if you could give them five of those, they'd be you know more than satisfied. But here
Hmm.
is he could count on in the dozens of good movies or good entertainment that he's had a
Hmm.
hand in. So,
Yeah. Yeah. No, there's so many, so many things. But so yeah, Steven Spielberg back again. So this movie was, I mean, everyone loves it now, and it was well received when it came out. I think especially all the technical stuff. So it won three Oscars for best sound effects editing, and best visual effects, all of which I think are well deserved.
hmm
And I wanted to talk about the visual effects too. So they worked with Industrial Light and Magic, who had done effects for many of his films. Right, because there's a combination of the computer generated stuff and like actual more practical effects. And Steven Spielberg wanted like full-size dinosaurs to the extent possible instead of like little kind of stop motion things. So they ended up in terms of like creating the dinosaurs, they worked with this artist Stan Winston, who
mm,
famously did the Alien Queen in Aliens. He also worked on The Thing, the first couple of Predator movies, Inspector Gadget, Iron Man, and Edward Scissorhands. So a lot of iconic like looks. And he worked on Terminator 2 also. Some Terminator movies as well.
which is on the list.
Nice. Nice. I
Yeah.
think I've seen that one, but not the first one, I think. But so interestingly, Stan Winston had been asked to work on E.T. and he said no, and he regretted that. So he was like, I don't know if I can make a dinosaur, but like I'm gonna sign up for this. And so they sort of eventually figured it out. And I think the interesting thing that's like I think if you read about Steven Spielberg here that he wanted to find the animal in the like he wanted to treat them as animals and not like monsters in a monster movie
Hmm.
because these are like true creatures. So that I thought that was really interesting because I do think that like the visuals of the dinosaurs are like really striking and I think like ahead of their time and still really, really impressive. They
I
have like a
agreed.
giant T-Rex.
I, it, they just they looked so unlike any other movie dinosaur that I'd ever seen ever. Like
Mm,
leading up to this, the way they moved and the way they, act, the way they, did things and so on, and it was just so realistic looking. Like you said, it still holds up. The scenes where you see some of the close up shots, and it's just part of the dinosaur that they made, but the interaction and the head
mm,
movements and so on, it's just so well done. So,
yeah.
uh, well, we'll get into the theories behind the evolution of dinosaurs and stuff, but
Mm,
some of the stuff that came out, I remember at the time I was thinking, I didn't think about that, or I didn't know that, or it
yeah.
was like, or well, that could be, I guess, that seems to make sense.
Hmm.
So,
Yeah, absolutely. Also, I think I was maybe wrong about um the raptor feet.
they used real raptors.
Yes, exactly.
Okay, so,
No, it was an animatronic.
oh, was it the whole time?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Oh no, it says along with a single fully animatronic rig and animatronic head for close-up shots, a stand-in puppet used as a stand-in for later CGI insertion, a pair of mechanized wearable legs for shots
Mm.
of the feet, and two full body suits were crafted for the film's production. So there were people
Oh, cool.
in
In like
suits.
suits.
Yeah. So, but yeah, I think that that's part of it. And then the music and the sound. Like we'll talk about it, but just like hearing a dinosaur before you see it and like the grand reveal of it, which again, I've never seen it on the big screen and I have to imagine it's like amazing on the big screen. I've seen it only on the TV on a cart that they roll into a classroom, or my TV at home. So, but yeah, I have to imagine that like on a big
Oh, it's
screen, that's really
it,
impactful. And
yeah,
with like the surround sound of a movie theater, that like
exactly.
boom,
So,
boom.
and you have to, yeah, because you have to think, I don't know. I guess, between Michael Crichton, and then whatever research, and I'm sure they looked into it and stuff, but, they probably, how they came up with, well, this is what they maybe moved like, or this is what they looked like, and this is how their musculature was, and
Hmm.
the way their uh, expressions and stuff. Because yeah, I didn't know that when you just brought that up that he wanted them to be treated like animals and not monsters. But
Hmm.
when you now that I think about it, because that's the way he really portrays them, they're animals. They're
Hmm.
they're not they're huge giant animals, but they're
Yeah.
and but they yeah, because it's like they're setting up a zoo. Uh,
Hmm.
but
Hmm. Yeah. And I think that like the people who helped do the animation and build the models did a lot of studying of like, going to the zoo and observing different animals and like how they move and all of that kind of stuff. So, and I think you can see that like that
hmm
care
yeah.
went into it.
Well,
Yeah.
we had our chance in 2013. It says they had a 20th anniversary re-release in 2013 at the movie theater.
Oh,
So
well, maybe
rats. Maybe the 40th,
yeah.
because the
Yeah.
30th is we passed that in 2023, right? Or 20, yeah,
Hmm.
2023. So maybe in 2033.
Yeah.
for the 40th anniversary. We'll do a write-in campaign.
Yes, yes.
Yeah,
Dear Steven Spielberg.
right. Yeah. Anyway,
Well, shall we talk about the movie?
let's get our admission into Jurassic Park. Two, please.
So we start on this island, and it's a storm, and there's something moving through the jungle. And then we see there's all these like Jurassic Park employees. They've got their guns and um, their hard hats and stuff, watching this like truck pull up. And we see that this is Isla Nublar, which is 130 miles west of Costa Rica. And um,
That's not a real place, is it, by the
I
way?
don't think so. No, it's fictional.
Oh, okay.
But there is a real island off the coast of Costa Rica, but it's called Isla del Coco. But yeah, so Isla Nublar, this fake, and so there's this big like box that's lowered down, and there's clearly something in it that's alive, and they're trying to bring it up to an enclosure to get whatever's in there in this enclosure. And you can hear it like making some noise and moving around. And they're like what they're trying to do is sort of be very secure. They like push this container up to like the gate and then like pull sort of a sliding door up so it can go in. But something happens and the guy holding like the sliding door up like kind of trips and loses his grip on it. And then the thing kind of gets free a little bit and then it grabs a guy. Like there's a gap and it
Hmm.
grabs a guy and you just see him being kind of dragged around. It's like it is Jaws, right? That's
Jaws.
what you're
Right.
thinking
It's like,
when the you just see his top half and he's getting moved around. It's like when the girl's getting dragged around in Jaws.
yeah, instead of moving back and forth, he's going up and down. And it's just all you can see is from his waist up. And of course, he's screaming his head off. And then they have these, I guess they're like cattle prod things, the shock things, they're trying to shock whatever inside the box to
Yeah,
let him go. And it doesn't work.
yeah,
I think it
yeah.
just
Because
makes it worse.
the guy that's clearly in charge, who we later learn is like the game warden, is like shoot her
Shoot her. Yeah, it's like,
because they start trying to tase it, but he's like shoot it, kill it.
yeah, yeah.
But
But
the
he says
guy's
her. He says shoot her.
yes,
Shoot
shoot
her.
her, and the
Yeah,
guy's dragged away, so it
yeah,
does
yeah,
not work.
yeah. So
And then
it's not good.
yeah, so it's the stakes are high from the beginning. Like,
Although when I saw this time, when I watched it this time, I
hmm
was thinking they have this huge metal box
hmm
and they have this electronic gate, this lock and everything, but
hmm
they have a guy pull up the door with his hands. It's like
right.
you don't have a hydraulic system that you can do this where there's not a guy involved standing on top of this big metal box.
Yeah.
Because who got that job? Like, okay, Bob, you don't do very well. You ranked last in your performance appraisal last week. So guess what job you have tonight?
Right. He drew the short straw for real.
That's right, buddy. Yeah. If you don't do this well, we're gonna let you go.
hmm
Well, guess what? Bob got let go anyways. I
He
don't know if
did.
that's his name, but anyway, but
Well, that's what we decided his name is.
yeah, yeah, Bob failed to meet.
Yes. Then cut to the Dominican Republic. And there's an amber mine there, and this guy in a suit, who we later learn is a lawyer. He's a lawyer for the investors in this park that we're learning about. And he's trying to make sure their investment is secure. His name is Donald Gennaro. And he says like the family of that worker is suing, and there are safety questions about the park. He wants to do inspections, and he's like, I need to see Hammond. And the guy in charge of the mine's like, Mr. Hammond isn't here. And the lawyer says he wants two experts to sign off on the park. And then the guy in charge of the mine gets called in because one of his workers has found a mosquito in amber.
And the guy that played the oh yeah yeah Miguel Sandoval and I'm sorry he played this guy has played a lot of things usually I hate to say it, you usually see him as a drug dealer or a
Yeah.
cartel member so because I think he's been
Yes.
in a couple of movies with I think he played a cartel member in one of the Jack Ryan movies with Harrison Ford so
Hmm. Hmm.
uh, but uh but I like him. He's a really good actor. But yeah, just yeah, Clear and Present Danger. He
Hmm.
was in that. So, but
He was a DA on the show Medium.
really,
Hmm.
oh, I used to watch that show. Okay,
Yeah. So, yeah, Miguel Sandoval. So then we cut to Badlands National Park in Montana, and we see people working to dust off a fossil. So we're at a dig site, and it's a big dinosaur fossil, and it's Dr. Grant and Dr. Sattler who are our gonna be our two experts. So Dr. Grant is a paleontologist, and Dr. Sattler, Ellie Sattler, is a paleobotanist. So she studies like the plants from back in the day. And they are the other people on the dig with them want to like use technology, which like Alan Grant is not into. He's like, no, 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 let's dig. But they have this like radar thing to kind of hit the ground and look and see what's under there. And they see that there's a skeleton of a raptor. And Grant is a proponent of the theory that dinosaurs evolved into birds, the birds that we have now, and not necessarily just reptiles. And I think that there's also like people that believe too that like the dinosaurs had like feathers, some feathers
feathers.
on
Yeah,
them.
and they were like more brightly colored than what we
Yeah.
think of them as like lizards, like big.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So I kind of like the idea of a big feathery T-Rex. So
Yeah.
you know, for all we know, they were big fluffy birds, or
It's
look
like
like,
Big Bird.
like exactly, yeah,
Big Bird, but it would eat you.
eat you, yeah.
So he's talking about the velociraptors being like birds. And some kid was like, it sounds like a giant turkey. Well, this obnoxious little kid is like, that sounds dumb, basically. And then, so Dr. Grant, it basically is like, let me tell you about how this thing would kill you, kid. He talks about how they hunt in packs because he's talking about how, like, there would be one right in front of him looking at him. And it's like, you don't have to, but this isn't the one you have to worry about because there are two other ones
Yeah.
by the side of you that are going to come at you. And then he shows him he has a claw, like a raptor claw. And he's like, they use this big 6-inch retractable claw and they might like cut you here or they'll cut you across your belly. And like
All
the
your
kids,
intestines spill out.
the kid's kind of like, oh my God.
But I like and the best he goes, but the point is, he goes, you're still alive when they start eating you.
Yeah,
It's
it's
like,
gruesome. And then he and Ellie are talking about kids and he's like, I don't like them. And she's like, well, I don't like that kid either, but like if we had a kid, it wouldn't be like that.
well, he goes, they're noisy and they're smelly and they're, and um, and you also can see the look on her face when he's describing this to the boys. She's like, "Oh God!" It's like,
Oh,
here we go
jeez.
again.
Exactly. And then a helicopter comes and is like blow all the dirt that they were so lovingly brushing off those dinosaur bones is getting blown right back. And they're kind of like, no, no, stop, stop. And then someone like is already in their trailer. They go in their trailer where they're staying, and Alan Grant is really upset. And, it's this old man in there who pulls out his bottle of champagne and he's like, we were saving that. And he's like, for right now. And they come to find out this is Mr. Hammond. And he's basically like, yeah, I'm paying for all this. So they're like, oh, hey, it's good to see you. Thanks. Thanks
This
for
is the
stopping
money
by.
guy. Yeah,
Yeah.
this is the guy that's paying our bills. So
Yeah. And he's like, I would like you to come just for the weekend. Come see the park and sign off. And they're kind of like, what kind of park is this? And he's like, just come for the weekend. And they're like, oh, I'm not sure. And he's like, I can compensate you by fully funding your dig for the next 3 years. And they're like, great.
is there a plane? Do we need to pack?
Are we going right now?
Mm,
Like, I'm in.
um,
And then cut to San Jose, Costa Rica. And there's a guy
do you know the
walking.
way to San Jose?
I
Sorry,
do.
it's a song from
I know.
Dan.
I
Okay.
know that.
I always love that song. So, do you know
I
the
have
way
been
to?
at the San Jose airport, in fact,
Oh, okay. All right.
in San Jose, Costa Rica. So this guy is looking like shady. He's got a hat on, but he's carrying like a bag with
He
him.
looks like a 50s secret agent. He's got like the
Yes.
little straw hat and the sunglasses and the short sleeve. He looks like
Mm-hmm.
he's so out of his element, but he's like trying to
And the
be
leather bag.
yeah, a really nice leather bag, by the
Yeah.
way. And we're not talking like a little suitcase. We're talking like
It's a big
yeah,
satchel kind of thing.
satchel. Yeah, that's a good, yeah, it's a satchel. So
And he meets up with Newman.
it's what I wrote. It's Newman.
I
Hello,
always
Newman.
That's exactly how I hear it. It's Wayne Knight. The character's name is Dennis Nedry, but if you know him, he's Wayne Knight, who is Newman on Seinfeld. That's kind of his main deal.
Exactly.
He's been in other things, but
Yeah,
especially
but
at this time,
he'll always be Newman.
he's Newman. Hello, Newman. So basically, he's don't say my name. Um, they're this guy is from a rival company to Mr. Hammond's company, which is called like InGen or something like that.
Something like that. Yeah.
So they're the ones starting Jurassic Park. This is a rival company that wants Dennis, who works at Jurassic Park, to smuggle viable embryos off the island. And they have a whole mechanism for doing that. It's a little fake shaving cream can, Barbasol can. And they're like gonna pay him, and Dennis is like, don't get cheap on me, Dodson. That was Hammond's
Yeah.
mistake. And it's like, oh, what a creep. What like a ugh.
What? Because he's eating and he's like the check comes and
Oh
he
yeah, the
gives it to
guy's like,
Dotson and Dotson goes what? He goes, "Don't get cheap on me." It's like,
yeah.
and
Because also
I think the bag's full of money.
it's like
So,
$75,000, and he's like, and you get the rest when you deliver it was like $25,000, and you get the other whatever when you deliver the embryo. So he's gonna get like $100,000, and he's
yeah.
like,
So
you need to pay for my lunch too.
although from looking at the table, it looks like he had a pretty good sized lunch. So I don't know
Mm,
what food costs in Costa Rica. It was probably maybe what, a buck and a half. I don't know. So um,
yeah. So then Alan Grant and Ellie Sattler are on a helicopter with Mr. Hammond flying into Jurassic Park. And the other people on the helicopter are Donald Gennaro, the lawyer, and Ian Malcolm, who is a mathematician and chaos theory person, chaotician. And he's talking
is that a
about,
real thing? Chaotician?
I don't know if that's like a real title, but like chaos theory is a thing. But yeah,
Okay. I mean, I've
I
heard of chaos theory, but
yeah,
I didn't know did they make up the chaotician?
yeah,
Um,
I've never heard. Maybe because he's a chaos theorist and a mathematician,
Makes sense.
they just combined it. It's like Brangelina.
There you go. Oh, can I just say at this point, at one time I dressed up as Dr. Grant for Halloween
Oh, nice, nice. I thought you
at
were
the
gonna say you
VA.
dressed up as Ian Malcolm
No, no, I
with
was
the shirt open.
no, no, but I did do I did do the explorer or the paleontologist. So
That's a good solid outfit. I will say, people, if you want like a solid but easy couples costume, you just do Ellie
yeah,
Sattler and Dr. Grant. It's just regular clothes mostly and some put on
it's
boots.
put on some boots. You wear a hat for Dr. Grant and like hiking shorts or whatever for Ellie,
Hmm.
and then there yeah, I think it's easily recognizable too. You
Hmm.
know, it's
Yeah,
you're from Jurassic Park, so
exactly. So Ian Malcolm is just going on and on about what chaos theory is and like what he does and all of his thoughts. And I love this is a line I love. John Hammond is like I'm sorry, he suffers from an excess of personality. And then this is when we get the first view of the island, which I think this is the bit that I saw
oh okay
of
from
Oahu, like
of
from a
Oahu.
helicopter.
So
Yeah, this
by
like
the way,
big kind
cool
of green.
helicopter.
Yeah.
It doesn't have any like landing stuff on it when you first. It's very sleek looking. You
Hmm.
know.
And it looks comfy inside. Like when I
I
was in a
know.
helicopter, you're like
Mm,
crammed
mm,
in.
So
It's not
yeah,
comfy. This was a
mm,
luxe helicopter
yeah.
experience.
This is the XL model. So
The Cadillac. So um it's a it's a bumpy landing and they're all buckling up, but Dr. Grant can't. Like he just has two like receiver ends. He doesn't have like the actual buckle. So he's just like, oh great. But they do land safely and then they get driven in jeeps. And the lawyers like asking all these questions, have the fences all been installed and da da da. He's inspecting the safety and stability of the island for the investors, that they have all the safety measures, etc. And John Hammond says, in 48 hours I'll be accepting your apologies. Which, well,
we'll see.
yeah.
Yeah, because the lawyer's like, if he's not satisfied, then the investors aren't satisfied, and they're going to pull the funding and all this other stuff. And I guess like you said, Mr. Hammond is very confident that the lawyer will be come away impressed with the park.
Hmm.
We'll
Impressed
see.
is one word that you could use. So they're driving and they stop on a hill, and Ellie is like, how do you have these plants? Like, these plants are extinct. Like, where'd you get these plants? And then you see, we're looking at Dr. Grant, and he takes off his sunglasses and his hat, and he's like, oh my God, because what is he seeing? A dinosaur! It's a Brachiosaurus. And he's like, what? What?
and and Ellie is looking at a piece of leaf or something, and he's
And
like,
he's like,
he
ex
takes her head and just turns her head,
and
and she's like, takes her sunglasses off, and like, oh my God,
right.
one of the greatest moments I think in film.
Hmm.
You
Yeah,
know,
just seeing him when he like takes off his sunglasses.
because he's like, yeah, because he's like, oh my God, is this, what am I seeing here?
Right. Let me clean these off. And then we also learned like John Hammond is talking, they have a T-Rex and they're like, "Do you have a T-Rex?"
Because didn't they talk about well they see the big dinosaur and they say, oh, they move like we thought they did,
Hmm.
and then he goes, well, how fast do they move? And then he goes, well, the T-Rex we clocked at 35 miles an hour.
And he's like,
You
a
you you
what?
have a T-Rex?
He
Yeah, a real T-Rex.
all became Porky Pig.
Yeah,
Um,
that's all, folks. Uh,
and then he says, "Welcome to Jurassic Park." And then you see there's like a watering hole and you see more dinosaurs. Um, More of the Brachiosauruses and Saurolophus? I can't read my handwriting.
Snuffleupagus, isn't
Yeah, basically.
it? But we talked about the special effects. Don't you think this is one of the great special effects shots where
Hmm.
you pan out and you see this big vista, and then you see, yeah, it's like several of the big giant brachiosauruses, and then you see herds or groups
Hmm.
of other dinosaurs at this big watering hole thing, and it's
Yes.
so well done though. Don't
Hmm.
it's not,
Hmm.
it doesn't look fake. It doesn't look
Yeah.
real, like cheap, or it wouldn't be with Steven Spielberg, but I mean, it still holds up.
Hmm.
You would think that, whatever, however he did this, it was really well done. So,
Yeah. It's Parasaurolophus is the other
oh, okay.
dinosaur. Parasaurolophus. And like you're saying, like Dr. Grant's like, oh, like they do move like how we thought, and they are like going in a herd like we thought. So it's like confirming so many of their theories about the behavior of these animals. And then they go to the visitor center, and Hammond's talking about how this is an amusement park, and then they go and watch an informational video. And it reminded me of, have you ever been to
Oh,
Hershey
up in
Park?
Pennsylvania
Yeah.
years ago.
And
Yeah.
well, like if you go to Hershey Park, you can go on the little ride that's like the world of chocolate, and it shows you how they put you on a little cart and take you, and you get to watch like the chocolate factory. You get to see how they make chocolate,
Oh, I
basically.
didn't do that. So,
I
but
did that, but that's what this reminds me of.
oh,
Because they're
okay.
sitting in like a little theater, and then they watch an informational video that's explaining how they made the dinosaurs for Jurassic Park. So we get Mr. DNA explains how. I actually love the beginning because John Hammond is on screen and he's the real John Hammond is standing there and he like is like reading from a card to talk to
Yeah.
the John Hammond on screen. It's funny. So basically they explained that they got dinosaur DNA from a mosquito that they found preserved in amber. So they extracted it from the dino DNA from there, and then it's kind of a fragmented code, so they used frog DNA to complete the rest of it. This will be important. So remember
Fill
that.
in the blanks, so to speak.
Exactly. And then they kind of their like theater seats move, so then they get to see the lab and see the scientists. And Dr. Grant's like, "Well, I want to go talk to them." And how to like get because the bar has come down like on a roller coaster to like hold you in. He's like, open this. I want to go talk to them. And they just break out and they all go into the lab to talk to the actual scientists.
I
And
like the lawyer asked too. I'm sorry, but he goes, "Are they real? Or are those animatronics? Or whatever." He goes, "No, no,
like
no. They're real. They're real
those are the
scientists."
scientists. Yeah,
Yeah, he
they're
goes, "They're
humans.
real." Yeah.
And then so they go into the lab and we meet Dr. Wu, who's the chief geneticist. BD Wong, love him.
Henry,
Yes,
uh,
Henry Wu.
Henry Wu.
Uh, so they, he's explaining things to them, and then they see there's eggs, and then one of them is hatching, so they get to watch like a little baby velociraptor like pop out of an egg. And Hammond, he said he likes to be there when each of them is born, so they can kind of like bond with him, I guess.
I think they imprint on him, right?
Hmm.
Because he wants a human to be the first thing that they see, and because I guess that makes a big difference, or maybe not. Don't
Well,
know.
hmm.
Could be.
And they say that all the animals are female. They've coded them so they're female so they can't breed. So there's no breeding done like out in the pens, like in the wild. It's all controlled in the lab. Malcolm is not convinced by that though. Ian Malcolm. He's like he says this whole thing and this is where he concludes with life finds a way in his great Jeff Goldblum life finds a way. I don't have a good Jeff Goldblum, so um
He's hard. He would be hard to do, I would think.
yeah,
Yeah, he's,
his
uh,
particular cadence.
pattern of speech and
Yeah.
and mannerisms and so on. So,
Yes. Yes, but you've heard of Jeff Goldblum, so
yeah.
but yeah, he basically is like they're like, "Oh yeah, like we've set it up so they can't breed. So like it's fine. Everything's fine." And he's like, "I'm not like his the chaos theory, right? Is that like sort of there are predetermined like patterns and like the tiniest little thing to
Mm,
disrupt that pattern like can make a lot happen." So he talks about like the butterfly effect kind
right.
of thing. Like a butterfly flaps its wings in like China and there's a tidal wave on the other side of the world. Whatever.
It's cause and effect. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
he's
Sort of.
like, I don't like nature cannot be controlled to the extent that you all think that it can be.
Right.
And Dr. Grant is not really happy to hear that they're breeding raptors because like
Yeah.
raptors are dangerous, but they get to go visit the raptor pen and they see a cow in like a harness lowered down into the pen. And they had to start doing it this way because they tried other ways and they were attacking like the staff that were trying to deliver them food,
Right.
as we have seen.
But by the way, I don't think that's a real cow.
No, no,
I think it's a robot cow,
yes.
but it
So
does moo and move its tail and head.
he
So
does. But you know, they also built a T-Rex, so
exactly.
they lowered in and we just see like trees. So it's lowered below the trees so we don't see it anymore. But then we see all of a sudden like the trees are moving and it's like being torn apart. And then the harness comes back up and the whole thing is like shredded and destroyed. Like the metal pieces are messed up.
Yep, the chains are broken and the rods, the frame of it is all bent up and it yeah, looks like it
Hmm.
got run over by a truck.
Yes. And they're also talking to Robert Muldoon, who is the game warden there, and he's talking about how smart the Raptors are, that they're learning and they're problem solving. Like the fence is electrified, but they regularly test it to find any weaknesses in it.
Hmm.
And there were several of them, but then they introduced this one big female and she killed all of them except for two. So she has her sort of like her trio to hunt with.
Right, her own little pack and
Yeah.
yeah, and she dominates them and he
Hmm.
says he goes, you can look at her and he goes, she's
She's
figuring things out.
thinking, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Clever girl.
Because he says, yeah, he's hunted everything on the earth, and he says he's never seen anything like that. You know.
Hmm. Yeah. So, lots of information are being given here. So then they're all eating together, and the lawyer is for the investors is so excited to make money. He's like, "Oh my God, we're gonna make so much money." He's talking about like merchandise and like selling tickets and how much they're gonna cost. And he's
He
like,
go-
you know,
we can charge $1,000 a day, and
right.
people
And
will
John
pay it.
Hammond's like, "No, I want it to be accessible for everyone."
And
And
he goes, well, we'll have a coupon day.
yeah.
I also liked right after they saw this cow being devoured, John Hammond goes, "Anybody ready for lunch?" It's
Yeah.
like, is anybody
Huh.
hungry?
That makes me hungry.
Yeah, ooh, we're having steak. No, I'm just kidding. I think he said they're having sea bass or something. So
Yeah, Chilean sea bass.
yeah. So anyway, sorry.
And Ian Malcolm is not happy about all this stuff. Calls out their lack of humility in the face of nature, like I said. And this is where he says, like, your scientists were so preoccupied with the fact that they could, they didn't stop to think if they should. Right. And I think this is like it's great because this is where it's like a very classic story of like hubris, which is like the thing in like every like Greek myth, right? It's like and like Greek tragedies, hubris is the kind of fatal
Mm-hmm.
flaw.
Flaw.
What do
Well,
they say? Like pride goeth before the
before
fall.
fall. It's like Frankenstein. It's
Hmm.
like, Frankenstein was so preoccupied with building the creature, the man,
Hmm.
he didn't stop to think that he shouldn't,
Yeah.
so it's yeah, it's the theory that you, what hath God wrought?
Mm-hmm.
you know, you're messing with laws of nature and forces of nature.
Mm-hmm. And it's like uh we see interestingly one of the staff has a picture of Oppenheimer by his computer,
I saw that.
which
It's,
I think it's like the same line of thinking, right?
right. Yeah. It's very apropos. So
I am become death.
I do like in the middle of the conversation, like John Hammond is like hearing the criticisms from, Dr. Grant and
Hmm.
Ellie and Malcolm. And he goes, here I thought, he goes, the only one I had to convince was going to be the blood sucking lawyer. And he's the only one that's on my side,
Yeah,
about this.
exactly,
Because the
exactly.
lawyer just has dollar signs in his eyes. He's like, oh, we're going to make so much money.
Yeah, and because then like Ellie jumps in and she's like, "You have all these things, like you have these plants that are poisonous, and they like don't know what century they're in. So like you don't know how these things are going to behave." And Hammond's like, "Dr. Grant, you get it though, right? You get it." And he's like, "How can we know what to expect?"
Yeah.
Like he says like people were separated from dinosaurs by 65 million years, and now they're here with us now. Like, how can we know what to expect? And he's like, damn,
Yeah,
only the lawyer?
I can't cut a break here. I can't catch a break.
Mm. And then his grandkids arrive before the park has been signed off for safety.
Yeah, I thought, whose bright idea was this? It's like, also, how did I guess they got there in another helicopter. I don't know.
I mean, if you got a rich grandpa, I'm sure he
I
just
guess,
flies
yeah.
you
So,
places.
yeah. So,
So they're testing out, I guess, this like tour
oh,
feature, which is like
yeah.
you get in sort of like a driverless car that drives you around.
We all know how safe those are.
Yeah. To hear about all the things. And the funny part is we've already established that Dr. Grant, not a fan of children, but the kids, so there's a girl named Lex and her little brother Tim. And Tim is obsessed with dinosaurs and he's read all of Dr. Grant's books. And I love, he's like, Dr. Grant gets in a car and tries to shut the door, and Tim opens the door and follows him in. And then like, Dr. Grant gets out the other side of the car and Tim just keeps following him. And eventually it's set up so the lawyer and the kids are in one car, and then Malcolm, Ellie, Dr.
And
Grant are in the other one. And Ellie's like, it'll be good. It would be good for you to ride with the kids.
well, I think didn't he say, well, what Dr. Grant asked the kid, he goes, what car are you going to be in? He goes, the one you're in. And he said, she said it would be good for you to
Yeah.
sit with me or to sit with us or something like
Mm.
that. So,
And meanwhile, back at like the control room, we hear that there's a big storm heading toward the island, which is not ideal. And the head engineer of the park, Ray Arnold, Samuel L. Jackson, is like, all right, he's constantly smoking, just always smoking. But he's like,
chain smoker from the World Hall of Fame. So, just saying.
he's like, all right, we're starting the tour. Hold on to your butts. And we see the big iconic brown gates that say Jurassic Park at the top, which you'll see if you ever go to like Universal Studios anywhere. And the tour begins.
Oh, and I read, so two things. One, I told Lindsay, I saw this posted for no relation the other day on the internet. Somebody mentioned that you look at the size of those gates, you knew at some point they were going to let the dinosaurs out. So I'm just saying.
Very
And the
fair
other the,
observation.
the other thing was that this it didn't introduce the Ford Explorer, but these were Ford Explorers used on the tour. They weren't Jeeps, but they
Hmm.
were modified. And then they weren't like they ran on a magnet or something. They didn't on a
Hmm.
track. It wasn't like a driverless car like we know now with all
Yeah.
the cameras and stuff. But anyway, but it was a big marketing thing for Ford. This was like the I think they came out in 91. This was 93, but this was the redesign of the body or something for the Ford Explorer. So
Hmm.
I want one that just says Jurassic Park on the side of
You
it.
just
So
want the Jurassic Park one?
exactly, yeah. So where did you get that? Jurassic Park. They had a big sale on them after the park closed.
Hmm. Yeah. So they're going by all these exhibits and it's annoying because like you see the signs and like you hear the little voice telling you about the dinosaurs you're supposed to be seeing, but then you can't like the dinosaurs are not visible. So they're like, great,
Yeah,
so
all you see is
exciting.
like bushes and trees,
Yeah.
foliage.
Yes. But we do the first dinosaur that we do learn about is a Dilophosaurus, which spit venom and have like a big fan that gets big. So, that's information that we were told for a reason. It's a Chekhov's dinosaur, as you might say. And then Mr. Arnold is talking about how they have to deal with all the problems of both a regular theme park and a zoo at the same time.
Hmm.
And then Dennis is back in his workstation, which is disgusting. Just trash everywhere.
Food wrappers and empty soda cans. I guess the only thing, yeah, I guess he doesn't smoke, but
Hmm.
that's about everything.
Yeah,
He's got like
that's like the only thing he doesn't do.
right, exactly. So, yeah, it's not a very tidy workstation.
Not at all. And he's talking about how great he's done and all the stuff he's done for them and how he thinks he should get more money. And Mr. Hammond's talking about the mistakes he's made. So it's like, oh, like what has he done? The tour approaches a T-Rex paddock and they're like all getting excited to see it. This is when Ian Malcolm says another like good quote. God creates dinosaurs. God destroys dinosaurs. God creates man. Man destroys God. Man creates dinosaurs. And then Ellie hops in. Dinosaurs eat man. Woman inherits the earth. And then a goat is put into the pen for the thing to hunt, but it's like leashed in a spot.
Uh-huh.
And everyone's like, "Oh my God, is it going to eat the goat?" But Alan is like, "No, it wants to hunt." And the goat just lays down. So he's like, "No, it doesn't want to eat this goat."
Yeah, it needs it to run because yeah, it's a
It can
wild
only
animal.
see, yeah, and it can only
Uh, uh,
see when it things move.
Move, yeah.
And I
Which,
love,
how do they know that?
I
You know
don't
what I
know.
mean? It's like it's how did they know that raptors hunted in packs? Unless you know what I mean. It's like I don't know how they.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
that's fine if but whatever. So,
And well, I guess maybe when they've found like raptor skeletons, they don't ever find them
oh, could be singly.
alone. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe they were together. So that makes sense. Okay.
Yeah. And maybe because T-Rexes have little arms and like little eyes. And then Malcolm says there's like a camera in the car that like they're watching from the control room, and Ian Malcolm is like, at some point will there be dinosaurs on the dinosaur tour? And Hammond's like, I really don't like that man.
He is rather annoying, don't you
Yeah.
think? I mean, but he's good at it. So yeah.
Yes, yes. And then, he's kind of flirting with Ellie and explaining chaos theory, and Grant just like hops out. And then Ellie comes out, and, then the kids, and they're all kind of hopping out, and then they see a
Is it a
the Triceratops.
Triceratops?
Yeah,
Okay.
because the tour is continuing. So like they've moved on from the T-Rex paddock. And they're in this field and there's a sick triceratops and Ellie's investigating and she thinks it might have been eating a poisonous plant, but she has to check its stool. And then you see this huge pile and Ian Malcolm is like, that is one big pile of shit. Because it is. It
It
simply
is.
is. And Ellie is like, puts a glove on and sticks her whole arm in it. And she's like, nope, no berries. I was like, oh
Yeah,
God.
it's like the things that vets put on when they have to examine a cow or a horse. You
Yes,
know, they have
exactly. When they
the
have to
an
put their whole arm
arm
inside a cow.
up inside of them, and it's like. Also, wouldn't you think there would be a lot more flies and stuff around that huge pile of crap?
Yeah. Yeah,
And
probably
also, I don't know
so.
that I'd be able to get within 20 feet of it before the stench would overpower you. So,
She was very chill about it.
oh, it was like, and what didn't at one point didn't Ian say to Grant, he goes, she's very persistent or something. He goes, oh, you have no idea.
Hmm. And the storm is coming, so they have to end the tour. And they're all going to go back, but Ellie is going to stay there to help with the Triceratops.
Yeah, because there's a guy there, like I guess one of the like a park ranger or something, and he says like he's got a Jeep, a regular gas
Hmm.
powered Jeep, and he says I can take her back to the compound
Yeah. So meanwhile, Dennis is scurrying away. He's carrying out his little theft and he's messed up the security systems and like various other things on his computer. And now uh Arnold Samuel L. Jackson is seeing that this has happened. Like security systems are failing, fences are failing. He's the one who has the Oppenheimer picture by his computer. Um,
because he
and
has a
he does.
conscience. Yes,
He's trying to fix it, and then Dennis has clearly put in some kind of virus because a picture of him pops up. It's like,
yeah, because he needs like the system to shut down for a few minutes so he can get into the lab, right? So
mm-hmm.
he's put in this thing to shut it down.
Yeah.
And he makes up some story. Oh, he goes, I've got to do some maintenance and backup. And he goes, so the
Hmm.
system will cycle on and off. He goes, but it'll be fine. It'll come back on in a few
Yeah.
minutes.
And that was a lie.
Because Dennis is well, there's a boat coming. I guess some sort of like ship that brings supplies or whatever. And then if anybody was leaving the island, and I get Dennis had to go because he has
Hmm.
to get off the island with the embryos.
Hmm. So he's trying to drive away at the storm. He's gotten the embryos. And he's taken one of the Jeeps to try to drive away. But he like kind of crash. It's like he can't see. He knocks a sign over. Then like the phones are out, the radios are out in the vehicles.
Nothing works.
And then here's the moment. So all the people on the tour, besides Ellie, are back in the cars, and Tim finds some night vision goggles under the seat, and he's messing with them. He's like, "Oh wow, look at these, wow!" And then all of a sudden, you hear some booms, like big, like feel it in your soul booms, and we see they have
Mm.
some glasses of water, some plastic cups of water that are like shaking with each boom. So it's like physically shaking the earth. And then they look over. The goat is gone. The goat that was in the T-Rex paddock, it's gone. It's gone. And the girl, Lex, goes, "Where's the goat?" And then the goat's leg, bloody leg, drops on the roof of in the sunroof of the truck. And they're like, ah! She screams. And then we see the T-Rex eating the rest.
Mm-hmm. Munching.
And then the lawyer, my notes say the lawyer, who is dumb, gets out of the car and decides he's going to go hide in the restroom. And also, I presumably this has scared the poop out of him, so he also needs to go.
That could very well that I could relate. So
Yeah, but
yeah.
you got if there's a big animal, I'm staying in the car. I'm staying in the car. Harder to eat me in the car. I'm just saying.
Oh yeah, yeah,
And then Grant and Malcolm haven't seen the T-Rex yet because they're like, "Where is he going?"
right.
And
And
then,
he goes, he's not. When the kids go, he's not leaving us, is he? Is he
yeah,
leaving us?
he
It's
left the
like,
dang door. He didn't even close the door behind him.
I know. And those blood-sucking lawyers.
And then the T-Rex breaks the fence and it lets out like a big roar. And the girl, Lex, like finds a flashlight and she like turns it on and is shining it. Once again, it's like, girl, what are you doing?
I
And
know.
you can
And
hear Grant from his car is like, turn it off, turn
it's a
it off.
big light. It's like,
Yes, turn it off, turn it off. And it's attracting the T-Rex's attention. And then I think this is an iconic shot. Like she's in the car and you see the T-Rex's eye, like through the window right next to her.
is that a great? I know. Is that a great shot or what?
It's so good. Oh my God, it's so
And
good.
it's
It's
right beside
so,
her head. It's
and it's
like
like the eye is like as big as her head.
exactly. So, and it's like looking, like trying to see,
hmm
but
What is
because
this?
if y'all didn't notice, by the way, T-Rexes like the eyes are on the side of their heads instead of like
Yes.
being front facing. So, like a
Yes.
bird.
hmm It's terrifying. And
Yes.
the T-Rex breaks the sunroof of their car, and the kids are like, the only thing between them and the T-Rex is this little piece of glass. They're under it, like
Right.
holding it up. And then the T-Rex like tips the truck over and it's like basically like eating the undercarriage of this Explorer. And also it's like stepping on it and like kind of crushing it and the kids are under it. And Grant is like, well, I don't like children, but I shouldn't let them die. So he like starts digging around in their Explorer and finds a flare and he gets out like with the flare to like distract the T-Rex. And but then Malcolm also does, and he's like, "Well, what are you doing
I
now?
know it's like
I was doing it."
because Grant had the thing and then threw the flare
Yeah,
and then
and it was
stood
gonna,
still and
yes,
yeah.
for it to go after it. But then Malcolm gets out with another flare, and he's like,
Yeah, and he goes, Malcolm, stop. Like, and Malcolm runs.
"Yeah." And then the T-Rex goes after him, and then he throws it at the bathroom, and then the
Where?
T where the lawyer was on the toilet, the T-Rex busts in the bathroom, and the lawyer is on the toilet, like pants down, like going, and it just snatches him right up.
Mm-hmm.
And you just
And
see it's like a few bites, chomp, chomp,
yep,
chomp.
chomp, chomp. Yep.
And Grant he tries to rescue both kids. He rescues the girl Lex, but the boy Tim, his like leg is stuck under the car because there's an entire car on him.
And the it kind of crushed the car, so it's bent
Yeah.
up, and yeah, it
hmm
kind of made it a little like a compact.
Yes, exactly. And I love he rescues Lex and gets out from under it and stands up and immediately just is screaming her head off. And he's like, stop. You have to stop. Oh, but I was like, you know what? I kind of get it. Because she couldn't scream while the T-Rex was right there because it would have gotten her. So now she's
I
just like,
probably just would have had a heart attack. So
"Ah!"
I know. Yeah. By the way, good facial expressions on the young lady for being terrified out of her wits' end.
She was
So
selling it.
exactly.
And then they're trying to rescue Tim from under the truck, but like the T-Rex is still there, so they're kind of like sliding around the car so they're hidden from it. And then like the T-Rex is pushing the car towards the edge and they sort of go over like the edge of the wall, but there's like the cords that were part of the fence that they're kind of using to like rappel down this wall
Oh yeah.
now.
Uh-huh.
I love she's like she starts like on his back, like give a piggyback ride, but she's like choking him, and he's like, you have to let go. You have to
Yeah.
go. You get on
Yeah.
your own rope, please." And then the Explorer falls, and it almost hits them. They have to kind of swing out of the way, and of course, back in the command center, Mr. Arnold's trying to like undo all the mess that Dennis did, but there's like so much he like messed up all the code, so he has to go through all these lines of code to fix it. Ellie's back there. Her and Muldoon have already made it back to the
Yeah.
command center. They're just waiting for the rest of them. So he's like, Muldoon, can you go get my grandkids, please? So Ellie's like, I'm gonna go with you because Alan is still out there too. And Arnold says he can't get Jurassic Park back online without Dennis. And cut to Dennis, who's still trying to just make his way off the island. And he goes off the road and ends up in the Dilophosaurus habitat.
Yeah, the area or whatever. Yeah.
And he comes across one. And it looks kind of cutish.
Kind of cute.
It's like
It's
following him. It's doing the little head tilt like dogs do.
yeah, it's like
Hmm?
and it
Hmm?
makes like little, like
Kind of noises. And he's trying to get it to like fetch a stick. Like, look at
yeah.
this stick, go get it.
It,
And it's
it,
not fetching.
and he goes, "Hey, no wonder you became extinct. You're stupid."
Yeah. And then it fans out its collar and spits poison goo on his face. And then he falls over. He drops the embryos. They go down a little waterfall and end up in a pile of mud. But then he manages to get himself, he doesn't realize that. He manages to get himself in his Jeep, but then he turns to the right, and the Dilophosaurus has also gotten in his Jeep, and then it attacks. And we just see it from the outside of the Jeep. We see like the
Yeah,
Jeep kind of like moving.
and we kind of see like spatters of stuff on the inside of the
Yeah.
windshield. Yeah, so it didn't end well for Dennis.
Yeah, he did not make it off the island, so that other company did not get the embryos.
Yes. Goodbye, Newman.
And so then back to Grant and the kids, the explorer that Tim was in is now in a tree. And he's like, okay, I'm gonna climb up the tree to rescue Tim. And Lex is like, don't leave me. And he's like, you gotta chill out. Just take a
Right.
breath. You're
Yep.
fine. You sit right here. You're gonna be safe. I'm gonna go get him and we'll be fine. And then Grant is talking Tim like through climbing down because he's like, don't look down. Let us just climb down this tree. And then the truck is dislodging from the tree and about to fall on him. So they have to kind of, he's like, okay, all right, we're gonna pick it up. We're gonna hurry up and get out of this tree. Um, and then Ellie and Muldoon get to the other explorer that Malcolm and Grant were in and find it empty. And they're like, what? That's not
Yeah,
good.
yeah, and
Destroyed bathroom.
they don't see the other
Yeah.
they don't see the other explorer either.
So it's like this doesn't seem
And
good.
don't they see a bit of the lawyer, or they because
Yes.
they figure out what happened, and
Yes, because I think
a noise.
they each find bits of a lawyer and then they hear a noise. Yeah, and it's like, oh God. But then they find Ian Malcolm like under the wreckage of the little bathroom. And he'd clearly been wounded because he made a tourniquet on his leg. He had a big
Yeah,
wound on his thigh, and he used his belt to make a tourniquet. They can't find the other crash car, but they do see footprints, but no Grant or the kids. So they're like, okay, well, they went somewhere.
yeah,
And they're trying to follow them, and they've set Ian up in their Jeep, and they're trying to follow them. And then they hear again the T-Rex stomps. Like, boom, boom, boom. And he's like, hello, hello. And it emerges from the trees just as they're like starting driving, and Ellie's like, shit, shit, shit.
and they're driving, and Malcolm's like, "Go faster, go faster."
Because it's like catching up to them. Like it bumps the Jeep
The
with its
Jeep,
head.
and he's in the back of the Jeep. It's an open
Yes.
Jeep, so
Yeah.
it's like, yeah. Also, great scene. This the scene in the mirror. Objects in the mirror
Uh-huh.
are larger than they appear, and it's a T-Rex.
And they do manage to escape though. And while that's happening, Grant and the kids can hear it. They can hear the T-Rex and they're hiding in the tree. And then some of the brachiosaurs are they can see them, so Grant does like a call because he somehow also knows what noise they make, and it's like exactly the right noise, and they come over to start like eating out of the tree. And I love this is we get an excellent joke from Tim. What do you call a blind dinosaur? Do you think he saw us? And what do
That
you
is
call the blind dinosaur's dog? Do you think he saw us, Rex? But it is very cute. He Grant is cuddling with the kids like in this tree. And it's like, "Oh, he didn't like kids before, but now he saved their lives and he's like taking care of them." He also drops his raptor claw that they show, but
oh
there's
yeah,
not
yeah.
much ever made of that, but it does happen. Hammond is eating alone in the food court and Ellie joins him.
Thought he was eating ice cream. Didn't he say he was eating ice
Oh,
cream? Because it was
yes.
all the electricity was off, so it was
Hmm.
melting. And then he said, and he didn't want it to go to waste. And there's like he's got like all these containers of ice cream
Yeah,
out. So
yeah, yeah, you're right. You're right. Yeah, because it's dessert, because that's what the kids eat when they come too.
yeah,
And Malcolm is okay, and Hammond's trying to kind of, I think, talk himself through it. And he's like, who better to get the kids through Jurassic Park than a dinosaur expert?
right. And they're going to be fine. They're going to be
Hmm.
okay.
Yeah. And he is like, it's okay. Like everything's gonna be fine. We're gonna once the power gets on, turns back on, we're gonna get everything under control. And Ellie is like, no, what are you talking about? They like there's too much power here in terms of the animals, and we have to like respect it. All that matters now is that the people that we love are safe.
Right.
Like that's all that we can do right now.
Yeah, he still thinks that yeah, this is going to be a viable thing, and
Yeah.
she said people are dying,
Yeah.
yeah. So
Kim, there's people that are dying.
yeah, so
That's a line from the Kardashians.
oh
But there's an episode where Kim Kardashian like loses an earring in like the ocean and she's like freaking out about it. And her sister Courtney is like, Kim, there's people that are dying. But yeah, he's like really holding out hope. Like, and you see throughout the movie, like until the very last, like he really is like,
yeah,
we're gonna make this work.
yeah.
And
Well,
they're like,
it,
no.
yeah. I mean, he's sunk a lot of money in his time and everything,
Hmm.
because he firmly believes in this
Hmm.
whole thing,
Yeah.
and not to make money. He didn't do
He's
it for
genuinely like
that.
thrilled about the whole
Yeah,
thing. Yeah.
right. Like he was bringing this piece of history back where people could, see what they look like and how they
Hmm.
act and stuff. So,
Yeah. It does seem like he is in it for like truly like
hmm
the science and like curiosity. But
yeah,
once again, it's like just because you can doesn't mean you should.
yeah, yeah. I even wrote down. Ellie tells him, John, you have no control. It's an illusion.
Hmm.
Yeah. What you think you have, it's not real. So,
Yeah.
yeah,
This is when like the Brachiosaurus comes and it's like eating from the tree where Grant and the kids are, and Lex is at first like, ugh, and he's like, no, 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 they're plant eaters, just like you. She's also a vegetarian.
oh, because
Um,
she calls him Metasaurus. Is it a
yes,
Metasaurus
or a Vegisaurus, because
or a
Tim was like, it's okay, it's
Vegisaurus?
a Vegisaurus.
Yeah, it's okay.
Um, and we learned
Yeah, he
Lex is
says
a
we're like big cows.
yeah, Lex is a hacker, which is also useful information.
Hmm
Although Tim's like, she's a nerd.
Yeah.
And then, as they're walking to try to get back to where they're supposed to be, they come across a bunch of hatched eggs in like out in the pasture, not in
Right.
the lab,
Right. It's a
which
yeah.
means the dinosaurs are breeding. And this brings us back to something that Mr. DNA taught us. They used frog DNA, amphibian DNA, to supplement what they didn't have of the dino DNA. And we have learned, it has been observed, that frogs, some kinds of frogs, can change sex in a single sex environment.
Life will find a way.
what she says. Yeah, and we see little baby dino footprints.
Yeah, little teeny
Cute.
tiny footprints.
Also an iconic image, the next shot, it's Jeff Goldblum, Ian Malcolm lounging with the shirt open. Like that, I feel like that's like an iconic picture.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So they're trying to figure out what to do about the system, like the computer system. And Hammond wants to shut it all down and turn it back on to like kind of clear out what Dennis did.
Right, like reboot it, like well,
Yeah,
like everybody does with your computer.
exactly.
You turn it off and turn it back on.
Like if you
So
called IT, exactly what they would tell you to do. Restart.
exactly, yeah,
But Mr. Arnold is not into that idea because he's like, we don't know if it'll turn it back on, if it'll come back
right,
on after we
yeah,
turn it off. And Muldoon suggests this failsafe that they've built into the dinosaurs, the lysine failsafe, but that would kill the dinosaurs because they like don't have a particular like compound or something.
some sort of amino acid or
Yeah.
something. Yeah, where if they don't get it, then they'll die.
Yes. Yeah,
Because
they have to supplement them.
yeah, they won't they can't they won't live if they don't get
Yeah.
that or by I guess mouth or whatever it
Hmm.
is. Yeah.
Like whatever like vitamins they give them or something.
Right, yeah.
And Hammond is like, no. Because once again, he's still trying to make this work. He doesn't want to kill the
Exactly.
dinosaurs
Yeah.
because he still wants Jurassic Park to happen. And if this was Mean Girls, Regina George would tell him, stop trying to make Jurassic Park happen. It's not going to happen. So they shut it down and turn it back on, and the computer seems to be coming back on. So it's like, okay, it actually worked.
Mhm.
But to get the rest of the power back on, they have to flip the breakers, which is in this like utility shed.
Which seemed a poor bit of design, but
Right. Why
maybe that may
would you make
well,
them
yeah,
more
why
accessible?
exactly, unless it was for safety reasons because it is a big power thing. I don't know,
Yeah.
like a big like it's like a substation, when you see power
Hmm.
stations out on yeah, so maybe that's why it was like that. But
Yeah.
anyway,
So, then Grant and the kids are like walking through the pasture and a stampede of dinosaurs comes at them. And this is like a really cool image too. Like
mm,
it's computer generated, but it still like looks really cool and real. And
don't they look like a big bunch of emus though, or ostriches
they
running?
do. Yes,
Do,
and
do,
that's which again supports the theory about birds, but
but
they
I
do
mean,
exactly look like emus. Yeah.
don't they? I mean, because
Hmm.
they're like big, tall dinosaurs, like not like the
Hmm.
T-Rex tall, but like taller than the people. But they're running on two legs,
Hmm.
not on four. And they kind of yeah, because he said, "Oh, they look, it's like a flock." And then
Hmm.
the little boy goes, "They're flocking right towards us." It's like,
Um, so they hide to stay out of the way, and then the T-Rex comes and it chomp 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 on some of
mm,
the other
mm,
dinosaurs.
the little ones.
And I love it because Grant and Tim are kind of like, huh,
Yeah,
interesting.
yeah,
Look at
because
that.
they're watching him eat, and
Yeah,
Ellie's
they're like,
like,
oh,
or not Ellie, but the
Tim and
the
Grant.
girl.
Lex is like, let's
Yeah,
go.
yeah,
The
yeah.
T-Rex is too close
hmm
to
hmm
us. Um,
The Metasaurus is here.
yes, the Metasaurus has arrived. So, Ray Arnold, Samuel L. Jackson is going to flip the breakers back, but it's taking a long time. Like they're like, he's been gone a while.
Yeah, because he said, "Oh,
So,
I'll be back in like a few minutes.
hmm
In 5 minutes, I'll have the power back on, and we'll have everything back up and running." So,
yeah. So Ellie's like, I'm a little worried about him. I would like to go. And Mr. Muldoon, the gamekeeper, is like, I'll go with you. So, um, I love this. They're getting ready, and it's like Hammond has the plans. Obviously, Ian Malcolm's not going anywhere because he's got a bum leg. Ellie finds some like walkie-talkies. So
yeah.
she's gonna take one, he's gonna keep one, and he'll talk her through like how to reset it. And Muldoon will just kind of provide cover in case any dinosaurs
Wait,
are around.
because he goes to a cabinet and pulls out a shotgun or something,
Yeah.
like a big, yeah, it's a big shotgun because he's
Hmm.
gonna, you know, be like the guard or lookout or whatever.
Yeah. And Hammond's like to Ellie, well, maybe I should go because you're a and I'm a and Ellie says, we can discuss sexism and survival situations when I get back. Just use the walkie-talkie and walk me through it. And then
Right.
she's like, I'm gone. I was like, I love that. I
I
love her.
know. Ellie's like, please, John, we'll
Also,
go.
you're an old man with a bum leg.
Yeah, because he walks with a cane,
Yeah,
and he is quite a bit older. So
right. So come on. Come on, dude.
yeah, he's probably my age.
He looks older than that. But he's doesn't seem mobility is not his strong suit.
No,
But
Ellie
he's a
is.
man.
Well, he's trying to have that protector mentality, I guess, or
I just
whatever.
love that she's like, okay, we don't have time for this. I'll talk to you
Yes,
later. Goodbye.
yes, yes. In the meantime, I got work to do. So,
And so Ellie and Muldoon go out and oh, another fun thing. The Raptors are out.
oh yes,
And Muldoon immediately clocks that he and Ellie are being hunted.
oh yeah, because he said because she said something. They get to the power station or
Hmm.
whatever, and she goes, "Oh, we can just go in." He goes, "No, we can't," because
Hmm.
he goes, "We're being hunted."
Yeah. So he's like, all right, I got my eyes on her. You run. And of course, Ellie's like tripping all over the dang place. But
I
that's what always
know,
has to happen in like a tense, scary moment situation, right? You can't just like run well. You're like tripping
right,
over everything. So she makes it in. Meanwhile, Grant and the kids come to an electric fence at the boundary of like the enclosure they were in, and he touches it to see, and he pretends that it's electrified. He goes like like he's
I
being
re
electrocuted.
I wrote greatest dad joke ever. Come on, it really, because and the kids are like screaming at him, and he
They're like,
goes, and he
"Oh
and he's like, I'm okay. So
no!" But they have to climb the fence. There's not like they can't bend it or something to squeeze through. They have to
because
climb.
it's yeah, I mean it's like
It's
really
like that
thick,
very,
heavy
very
wire.
thick. Yeah.
Yeah,
And then
yeah,
it's got like other wire kind of weaving through it. So it's just
yeah.
not possible.
And the spaces aren't big enough for them to get through the squares. Yeah, so they got to climb up.
Hmm.
So
So, and we kind of cut back and forth between them doing that and then Ellie in the shed. So Ellie's in the shed. She's following the instructions by the radio. She finds the box and she's like turning things on one by one. And one of the things that she's going to be turning back on are the fences. And it's like, like, so, we see that Grant and Lex have made it off the fence, but Tim is kind of scared. So he's
yeah,
moving very slowly. And Ellie is turning on each system. The last one is the fence. Tim's on the fence. He's scared to jump. And like Dr. Grant is like, just jump down, okay? Just count to three, jump down. And of course, like before he's like, okay, I'm gonna do it. And then she turns it back on. So he gets shocked and goes flying. And Grant catches him and he's not breathing.
right.
So and again, we cut back and forth. So Ellie is like, oh, great, I turned it back on. Like everything's good. And she's kind of leaning against the breaker, and then there's all these wires right behind it, and then all of a sudden a raptor head like peeks out between the wires. It reminded me of like an alien when the alien's like in that little crawl space.
Right, and then comes out of there like it's sort of
Yes.
blended in. Yes,
Yes, like it was like up against the wall kind of thing.
right,
And then it's like,
and then
oh, there it is.
it uncoiled itself, and then yeah, you
Mm-hmm.
sort of see the raptor like yeah, because the raptors are kind of or the dinosaurs are kind of like grayish,
Mm-hmm.
in color and stuff, so they kind of blend in. So
Yeah. And then so she's like, ah, and she's like running and running, and then she sees Mr. Arnold's hand and she holds his hand. She's like, "Oh my God, I can't believe like we made it." And then she picks it up and it's just his arm. It's just his arm and no body.
sort of like the
Ah!
goat leg,
I know.
it's like
She like has it around her, like around her for a second.
oh,
She's like, "Oh, I'm so glad to see you." And then she's like, "Oh, there's nothing attached to it."
exactly. It's like oh my god. So
And then outside, Muldoon sees like the big girl raptor, and he says, "Clever girl." And then it kills it. It kills him.
Yeah, because well, he's looking at one, the little one,
Yeah.
and then he looks to his left, and it's like he sees the big one, and it's like, yeah,
Yeah.
and he, he tries to get the shotgun, but it's too
It's
late.
too late. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
But he's still impressed by it,
Oh
right?
yeah,
His
yeah,
last
he knows.
words,
Yeah,
clever girl.
clever girl.
He's
So
like
I like,
Australian, so he's
yeah,
like, clever
I liked
girl.
Muldoon, even though he was a hunter. I liked him. He was,
He did seem to have like a level of respect for the power of the animals he was dealing
exactly,
with.
yeah, because he said he said he told him he said they're nothing like I ever saw. He goes they're smart, they're fast. You
And
know,
they're learning.
yeah. So
Cut to Grant, who's doing CPR on Tim. Just a reminder, everyone, you should become CPR certified. High quality compressions can save a life. The compressions especially.
yeah, you don't have to do the thing
The
with the
breathing.
the breathing anymore.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you don't have to do mouth to mouth. It's really about the compressions.
Yes.
Tim finally comes to. So shout out to Dr. Grant for knowing how to do CPR. And Grant takes the kids to the food court. And he says, like, Tim's like hair is all big from being electrocuted. He's like, your hair looks crazy. But he goes, Big Tim, the human piece of toast. And he's like, you stay here. I'll be back. I'm going to go find Ellie.
Yeah.
So he goes to find Ellie and she's like, run.
And
And then
doesn't she have something like she's limping, right? Because
yeah, it's
her
like
leg
something happened when she was trying to escape from that raptor, or maybe
from the,
when she was running,
yeah.
like when she tripped 10 times in the jungle
Oh my God, I know.
and tripped over every root that was there. But then in the food court, the kids are eating, and then Lex pauses. This is an image that I always remember. And she's eating Jello, which is not vegetarian, by the way, but whatever.
Oh,
She's
oh, it's not Jello.
No,
Oh
because
no, you're right. It's
gelatin
gelatin.
has like animal stuff in it.
Oh yeah. Okay. All right.
But maybe there's like they're doing some sort of vegetarian one, whatever. The point is she is taking a bite, but she pauses before it gets to her mouth and she's shaking and the jello is wiggling. And then Tim kind of sees her, and then we see behind Tim there's a raptor. And so they run and hide in the kitchen, but the raptors can open doors. It's a flat handle door. I
Yeah,
bet
it's one of the
if it was a knob, they couldn't open it.
right, right. I was going to say, so
It's like the like horizontal handle that you press down.
if you're building a dinosaur proof structure,
Knobs.
people, knobs. No straight handles.
Yeah.
No hooks or whatever, like the
No,
bars. Sorry.
knobs. So there are two raptors in there looking for them. And it's like this is such a tense couple of minutes because they're just like hiding and like trying not to breathe and like just moving ever so slightly so that the raptors don't get them. And then like, oh my God, like a ladle falls, the raptors hear it and like,
And even in the movements of like this though, you can like, they're hunting as a pair,
mm-hmm.
and you can see like they're looking at each other and then they're looking
Right.
they're
They're like communicating
yeah, yeah.
and they're like listening and they're like creeping to try to like sneak up on them.
And you see
And
those
like,
big toes, those big claw
yes,
things,
those
and they
big,
make
like,
that clicky noise on the tile floor, because it's a kitchen, so it's like in
but yeah, so like the ladle falls right next to Tim and they almost get Tim, but then Lex bangs one over there on the other side of the kitchen to try to distract them. Again, a really nice sister here, sacrificing herself for her little brother, potentially. And then Tim makes a break for the walk-in freezer. These are smart kids. And one follows him in, but then he slips out and shuts it in there. He and Lex like have to both push it in there, and then they just go running out of the kitchen and run into Grant and Ellie. And then they get to the control room, and it follows them, and they're trying to shut the door, but they can't lock the door because that like mechanism has not been turned back on. Like by its computerized lock, it hasn't been turned back on. So they're just like brute force holding it, and
So
then
so deadbolts, people, no electronic locks.
yes, we need deadbolts. Um, Thankfully, Lex is a hacker, so she goes in, sits at the computer, and she's able to reboot the system to enable the door locks. So it shuts just before like the thing kind of gets through, and Ellie and Grant like can't hold it anymore. And all the systems are back up and running. Yay! Grant calls Hammond. I love this, and he's like, "Mr. Hammond, the phones are working. Call a helicopter."
Get us the hell out of Dodge. So
Yeah. But then the raptor, again, here's another tip for you for dinosaur proofing your building. Don't have a big pane of glass on the door.
really,
So the raptor breaks the glass and is like coming through the glass. So they have to climb up a ladder into like the ceiling vents.
yeah, because
And
Hammond hears gunshots because they have one of the shotguns, but then it jams evidently
yeah.
because it's laying on the floor. So
Mhm.
you know,
So they have to escape, Grant and Ellie and the kids. And then this is a cool shot too when like the raptor pauses in the control room, and it just has the ATCG, which are like the building blocks of DNA, like the little
hmm
proteins that make up DNA. Um, it's like guanine, da da da, adenosine. I don't remember what they all are, but it's like ATCG, and like you just see all the letters like projected on its face because that's like
yeah.
ultimately like what this is, right? It's like a genetic experiment gone wrong. That's also why like the movie Gattaca is called Gattaca because it's like those letters make up
Oh,
DNA.
I did not know that.
Yeah,
Okay. So,
ATCG.
cool.
Um, so they're crawling through the vents to get to another room, and the friggin' thing pops up right
Oh,
under Lex.
I know.
Poor her. She's screaming so much.
Poor girl's going to lose her voice, you
I
know?
know. Give her a lozenge. Um, and they all go to like the main atrium that has like the big skeleton in it, and they're sort of climbing onto the skeleton so they can kind of be out of reach, but then they fall down, and the
Yeah, the
raptors.
skeletons collapse, I guess, because of the
Yeah.
weight. Yeah, they pull out of
Mm-hmm.
the ceiling joists.
Yeah, so they are just there, and the raptors are there, and they're like, oh, kind of coming at them from both sides.
Yeah, you got the big one and the one little one that's left. The other one's still
Yeah.
locked in the meat freezer or whatever.
Yeah. It's getting a little chilly.
Yeah.
Um,
They like cold weather, though. It's probably like, yeah, hey, this feels good. I don't
do
know.
they like
So
cold weather?
I don't know. I always thought they said lizard or dinosaurs were cold-blooded, but I don't think they really are.
They
So,
are cold-blooded, but that just means they can't regulate their own temperature, so they need to be in the sun. So I actually
oh,
think that
okay.
like
So
being in
yeah,
the
so
cold would
probably
be
it's
very
yeah.
detrimental to it. Because like
So it's
we can
probably
be in the cold and our blood is still warm because our we
we
have
can regulate it.
homeostasis. Yeah.
Yeah,
They can't. That's why like you see lizards like laying on rocks in the sun because they need
gotcha.
the warmth from
That
the sun to warm their blood.
okay.
So yes, they are cold blooded, but in a way that like they need the sun to warm them up. So they actually making it more cold is probably bad. So hopefully that
Okay,
maybe that one's dead. Who knows? Or it's like going to be perfectly preserved for the next crazy billionaire.
exactly.
Uh, so anyways, Ellie, Grant, and the kids are stuck between two raptors about to be eaten. We're about to be sliced open with big 6-inch retractable claws.
hmm
But
And
who
they'll
should come
go
and
ahead. I'm
save the
sorry.
day? Sorry, no, what were you going to say?
I was going to say, and but they'll still be alive when they're being eaten. So as
Exactly.
as Grant
Exactly.
described so
Yeah, so
eloquently.
we're about to see all of that unfold. But a hero arrives at the last moment, and it is the T-Rex, because it's still hungry for some velociraptors. So it comes and bites them, and the rest of them escape, and Hammond is outside with a Jeep and Ian Malcolm, and they're like, hop in, and I love um, Dr. Grant is like, Mr. Hammond, I do not endorse your park. And he's like, neither do I. And they speed away, and then we see the T-Rex, like the raptors are trying to fight the T-Rex, but the T-Rex is just simply too big.
Yeah.
Um that's why it's the king. hence the Rex. And it like kills them both. And then this is a cool shot too when it's just in there roaring as like the banner falls down
And it
that
says
talks
when
about like
dinosaurs ruled the earth.
yes.
Yeah, I love that shot. So, yeah, and
Um,
then it because it gives its like I guess victory uh
mhm.
roar or whatever. Like,
Yeah.
yep, took him down, baby.
Yeah, once again, this dinosaur is ruling this little bit of Earth.
Exactly. So,
And
and it was quick too. It was like because it snatched the raptor right in mid jump. So,
mm-hmm.
it didn't
Mm-hmm.
miss.
Yeah,
So,
and the other one was trying to like bite it and it
yeah, and it was
threw
like,
it
yeah,
into the
yeah,
skeleton.
right, just
Get off
smashed
me.
it. Yeah, exactly. It saw the lunch special was 2 for 1. So,
And said, I love Purdue Dino Nuggets too.
yeah, exactly.
So all the humans make it on the helicopter, the remaining humans, which is just 6 people. We started with several more. So it's Hammond, Ian Malcolm, the kids, Ellie, and Dr. Grant. They all make it on the helicopter, and Hammond looks really sad.
Yeah,
And
because
it's,
he's looking around. Well, even before they get on the helicopter, Grant says to him, because he's looking around and he says, "Come on, we got to go." It's like because
yeah,
he knows that once they leave, the dinosaurs are going to die because they won't get that whatever
lysine.
lysine. So yeah, so
Um, but then, of course, on the helicopter, Grant is sitting with the kids who are both kind of like snuggled up to him, and Ellie
oh, I
is just
know.
looking at him like, "Oh, look at that!
Yeah,
You don't like kids, huh?"
yeah. So
And then, the last kind of thing we see as they're flying back to the mainland is pelicans flying over the water, and it just reminds you like they're dinosaurs.
because they sort of look like they have that same structure and stuff, and
Mm-hmm.
then yeah, and the music plays, the
Yeah.
main theme, the swell of the music and stuff. And
Uh-huh.
that's
Uh-huh.
another great shot that was a great shot on the big
Mm.
screen because you see the
Yeah.
ocean and
Like the sun on the ocean. Do do
yeah.
do 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 do.
So yeah, I think dinosaurs would look better with feathers on them. I really do. So
Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, that's Jurassic Park. That's the movie.
do you want to go through the cast?
Yes, yes, let's talk about that. So, Dr. Alan Grant is played by the late great Sam Neill, which inspired the pick for Jim.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
we met him in The Hunt for Red October. He was like Sean Connery's like second in command. But he was in many other things. Possession, Dead Calm, The Piano, Event Horizon, Hunt for the Wilder People, on TV in The Tudors and Peaky Blinders. Dr. Ellie Sattler, played by Laura Dern, uh, one of the talented Nepo babies of Hollywood, daughter
Hmm.
of Bruce Dern and Diane Ladd, who also did pass away recently. Diane Ladd, I believe.
Yeah, yeah,
Um,
that was sad.
Laura Dern has been in Mask, Smooth Talk, Blue Velvet, Wild at Heart, the TV show Enlightened, the movie Wild, Big Little Lies. She was like one of the funniest people on Big Little Lies. She had a lot of really funny lines. 'Cause she played this rich woman and like I think her husband was going to go to jail for like financial crimes and she was like, "We cannot I cannot not be rich." She was in Twin Peaks: The Return, the movie Little Women. She's in Star Wars: The Last Jedi. She won an Oscar for Marriage Story. Doing big things always. Ian Malcolm, played by Jeff Goldblum. This is our second movie with him too, because he was in Independence Day.
Hmm.
He was also in The Big Chill, The Fly, Invasion of the Body Snatchers, Thor Ragnarok. He's in the Wicked movies. He's in a bunch of Wes Anderson movies. John Hammond, played by Richard Attenborough. He was the brother of Sir David Attenborough, who people probably know, who does all the like nature documentaries. So Richard Attenborough was both an actor and a director. So in terms of acting, he was in Brighton Rock, The Great Escape, The Sand Pebbles, the original Dr. Dolittle, the remake of Miracle on 34th Street. That's the other thing I always remember him from.
Yeah, playing
Um,
Santa Claus, Chris
Santa
Kringle.
Claus, yes.
Yeah.
As a director, he directed Young Winston, Cry Freedom, Gandhi, Chaplin. I think Gandhi is probably the biggest one that he directed. The game warden Robert Muldoon, played by Bob Peck, who I think was most known for his work on a was it a British or Australian television show called Edge of Darkness.
Oh,
I will tell you, it
but I
is
saw he died very
British.
young.
He was 53. Yeah.
Yeah. I think he died of cancer.
Yes. Hmm.
Oh, and by the way, as far as age goes, Sir Richard Attenborough was the same age I am now when he made this movie.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well,
He
he
was
looked
born
older.
he was born in 1923, but he was between 69. When the movie was made, he was 69 going on 70. So
Hmm.
I thought he looked pretty good. I kind of liked his
He
it
he
wasn't a
had a
safari suit thing, but it was kind of looking like that, kind
yeah
of.
yeah yeah. He had like he was rocking some like linen, you
Yeah,
know.
yeah. He looked very, very posh. So
Yeah, posh, but like in the tropics.
yeah, exactly.
The lawyer, Donald Gennaro, played by the actor Martin Ferrero, he's one of those people that was like a small part in like a lot of movies and a lot of TV shows. I think one of his things that he did for the longest time is he was on Miami Vice, the television show. That's something that he had a recurring
Yeah,
role on.
yep. That's where I remember him from.
Dr. Henry Wu, the geneticist, played by BD Wong, as I mentioned. Love BD Wong. I came to know BD Wong as Dr. George Huang on Law and Order SVU, who's like
Hmm.
the FBI like psychiatrist profiler who helps the Special Victims Unit. He was also on the TV show Mr. Robot. He's done a ton of Broadway, things like M Butterfly.
Oh, I didn't know that.
He was in the 90s version of Father of the Bride with Steve Martin. He is the voice of Shang in Mulan. He was on television shows Gotham and Oz, another show called Aquafina's Nora from Queens. And he's also in like all the Jurassic World
Part,
movies.
yeah, because his character is still in that, and Dr.
Yeah.
Wu.
Because
Yeah.
I think he's like a bad guy in them. Like he's one of the people
Hmm.
helping to like revive all this stuff.
Exactly.
Um, but in like a dastardly way.
Yeah, not
A
in a
few of
good
the other
way.
people are in some of the other sequels, but like I can't be bothered to look too far into that.
No, no.
The chief engineer, Ray Arnold, played, as we said, by Samuel L. Jackson. And this is actually some of his early work.
Hmm.
Another one of his early works, Coming to America, which we will be watching at some point. He did a lot of stuff with both Spike Lee and Quentin Tarantino. So Spike Lee, there's like Menace to Society, School Days, Jungle Fever. Quentin Tarantino, there's Pulp Fiction, The Hateful Eight, Django Unchained, etc. He also narrates Inglorious Bastards, I
Oh,
believe.
does he? Is that him?
I
I
believe
didn't
so,
know
yeah.
that. Okay.
He plays Mace Windu in the Star Wars prequels. You might recognize him as the only guy with the purple lightsaber. He's Nick Fury in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. He was also in Kingsman: The Secret Service, Unbreakable, and Glass, Coach Carter, the remakes of Shaft, A Time to Kill, etc., etc. Dennis Nedry is played by Wayne Knight. As we said, he's Newman from Seinfeld. He was also on Third Rock from the Sun. He did some voice acting. For example, he's a voice in the movie Tarzan. He was in the movie Space Jam, JFK, Rat Race, and then the kids. Lex, the girl, is played by Ariana Richards. She did a lot of things as a kid, but since then she actually just became an artist. So she's like a successful like visual artist.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
She was
her
good in this, I
she
think.
does a bunch of like she does paintings. And the other kid, Tim, he was played by the actor Joseph Mazzello. He has kept acting as a kid. He was also in things like The River Wild. And he as an adult, he's been in um he was in Star Kid, he was in Simon Birch. Those were um
Okay.
ones that I remember watching as a kid. As an adult, he was in The Pacific, which is another HBO miniseries. Like if you've seen Band of Brothers, The Pacific is like in the same
Mm.
token, but in the Pacific. So he plays a real person actually in that, named Eugene Sledge. And then he's in The Social Network, playing a real person, the movie about Facebook. And then he plays the bass player of Queen in Bohemian Rhapsody, the
Oh, you said,
Queen
yeah.
biopic.
Well, that's good that he's doing other things. So
Hmm.
I was just looking at his picture. He looks just he hasn't really changed a whole lot in all that
Yeah.
time. So just a kind of a bigger, older version of what he looked like back then. So
Hmm. Yeah, for sure. But yeah, so that's everybody in it. Jurassic Park. What fun.
it was. And now I have to say I think we did really good. But as far as you did really great as far as the recap of the movie because this is a long movie.
It's long and it's like it's so hard to like not just watch it.
I agree because if you haven't seen the movie, by all means, I think it's well worth the watch, don't you?
1000%. Like it's just a good entertaining movie and it's not like I think sometimes like Jim and I like Marvel movies. There are some Marvel movies that are like just dumb. There's like
Yeah,
spectacle, but it's I wouldn't call them good movies.
exactly.
This
No,
I think is both just entertaining purely, but also like a good movie. Like there's like a story and there are characters and there's like an arc to get invested in while also being thrilled by the sounds and the sights
agreed.
and
I
the
mean,
technology and like the craft at
the
work.
special effects are good. The
Yes.
acting is good. The there you could tell this is a big production, but you're right. There's also the nuances of the characters. The little interrelationships between Dr. Grant and Ellie, and then Ian flirting with Ellie, and because
Mm.
there was a conversation where Grant had with him, like he goes, "If you do you have kids?" Oh yeah, he's been married 4 times. He's got kids. He loves being married. He just doesn't love being married to the same person all the time. So Grant sees him as sort of maybe a little bit of a threat between him and Ellie because
Yeah.
you know he he knows Ian likes kids or at least has kids. So
Hmm. And Jeff Goldblum, good looking dude.
yeah, very very unique looking. So
Hmm.
I don't mean that in a bad way, but yeah, but, he's very charismatic and very sort of cool looking. He wears all black in the movie.
Hmm.
He's
Hmm.
sort of like the cool guy, and then he has the shirt unbuttoned where
Yeah. I think Mr. Hammond calls him like the rock star at
yeah,
the
yeah,
beginning.
exactly. So, because when he's trying to show Ellie about chaos theory, he takes her hand, and he's
Oh,
dripping
he's
water
dripping
on it,
water, how it runs off her
yeah, and
hand.
he's like, and then Grant's like, look at him like, what the hell are you doing, over there,
Hmm. Get your
trying to
hands off
steal
my
my
girl.
my girl. That's right. So, but
Yeah.
but that, the how much John loves his grandkids, and he's worried about
Hmm.
them, and but he's torn between, that and
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. And it's like everyone has kind of a slightly different perspective of what's happening.
mm-hmm.
And it seems like the only person that's like really all in though is Hammond. Because he's
Yeah.
like, this is my thing, we're making it happen. And
Well,
everybody else is
that
kind
and
of
the
all like,
lawyer.
yeah. Well, the lawyer wasn't it for he
Right,
came
yeah,
around. He's
yeah.
in it for the money.
And I'm sure at the very end he sort of changed his mind right before he got
Yeah.
eaten. Yeah.
When the walls of the bathroom fell down
Fell
and he
down.
was out there.
But
Yeah, he was like, "Oh, it's not worth it.
but
Never
even
mind."
but yeah, like you said, because he said even to Dr. Grant, he goes, I thought of all people, you'd be the one that would be, on my side. And he's,
Hmm.
nah. really, he goes, this is kind of dangerous. This is,
Yeah, like we don't know how this is all gonna work out.
yeah,
Like,
this could go bad, and it does. So,
yeah, yeah. And I think also that's like such a theme in science fiction generally, right? Of like advances in technology. And again, it comes like that the line that Jeff Goldblum says, right? It's like you got really excited that you could and you didn't stop to think if you should. Like I think that's like the moral of so many like movies where they're building robots and then they take over or doing
or
various experimentation and then things go wrong, right?
right,
Like
yeah,
you said, Frankenstein, like from the earliest iterations of science fiction, this is the theme of
yeah,
like it's a sort of like man playing God, right? Like also like Jeff Goldblum says,
yeah,
man kills God, man
and
creates dinosaurs,
dinosaurs kill man,
woman
and
inherits the earth. I would
exactly.
have liked to see us follow through on that theme,
And
but yeah, I think that that's
we
so
should
much
put
of
that
like
on a shirt.
I'm sure I bet you could find a shirt that has that on
You
there.
probably could, yeah. So, the evolution of mankind,
Yeah, yeah.
so.
I could do some research, but yeah, I think that like man playing God, how far can we go with the technology that we have?
Hmm.
Like is that's really well illustrated here. And it's interesting too that the people who are like the the experts that they bring, people who are in some ways like the most learned in these topics are the people that are like, this is a bad idea. Like, of course, Alan Grant wants to see a dinosaur. He's
What?
excited to see the dinosaurs, but he's like, oh no, this is a bad idea. I'm
Yeah,
excited to see the dinosaurs, but like, no, you shouldn't have done this.
yeah, because I mean, you can tell, yeah, he's enthralled in it. Like, even when
Mm-hmm.
they find the sick dinosaur, he's like laying on it, when it breathes, so he
Mm-hmm.
could feel it, how it breathes. I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, but then he realizes, yeah, like you said, like, oh, yeah, this is
You
not
shouldn't
good.
you shouldn't have done this.
Yeah, yeah. So it's
You
cool.
done goofed.
Yeah, but yeah, this isn't going to end well. So,
Yeah, yeah. So it's listen
what?
to scientists, people, please.
Well, we see how easily Dennis got bribed, or bought off,
Uh-huh.
and then somebody wanted, to steal this technology without having to work for it either. They just
Mm-hmm.
wanted to, buy their way into it, and
Yeah.
who knows what they would have done with those embryos, probably just, made uh, uh, soldier dinosaurs,
I think that truly though, I think that that's one of the themes of one of the later Jurassic World ones that they're trying to like use them
weaponize
as
them.
weapons. Yeah.
Oh, well, I guess, it'd be like, gee, like one of the other Steven Spielberg movies, you could either have the Ark of the Covenant, or you could have an army of T-Rexes, that you could,
Mm-hmm.
like, what's the one thing in Goldmember, it was, or whatever it was like sharks with lasers on their heads or something, it's like something really crazy out of this world, but
Mm-hmm.
but
Sharks with freaking laser beams on their heads.
laser, but have T-Rexes, and have machine guns strapped to them or somehow or
Mm-hmm.
something, it'd be like, oh, that's just what we need, a dinosaur that knows how to shoot a machine gun. So,
Right, right.
so
Yeah. So yeah,
yeah,
I think
so
it's just an evergreen theme. Like I said, I think it in some ways this goes back to the ancient Greeks, the hubris.
hubris,
You think you can be better than the gods, and the gods will show you that you are not.
yes, exactly, you don't know what you're fooling with. Um,
Yeah,
uh,
which is it's always fun. We're telling the same story in many different ways over the
yeah,
years, but
and
it's always there's something there always.
and I think this is, again, we talked about, this is a good one. This is a good way to
Yes.
this is a
Mm.
good telling of that morality play, or whatever you want to
Hmm.
call it. But yeah, it's well done. It's long, but it's not like it's what,
It
two and
moves
a half.
quickly.
Yeah, it does. There's a lot of action.
It's like it's not that long. It's like 2 hours and like 15 minutes or something.
15 minutes, so
Yeah.
so it's not like crazy long, but it's but yeah, it's. yeah, there's no laws or anything, I don't think,
Mm-mm.
anyway. Even when it doesn't seem like there's a lot going on, there's a lot being demonstrated or shown or
Right. You're
explained.
getting information that will like be
Yeah, yeah,
that will
there
come up again.
exactly.
Like
So,
everything that's set up pays off.
yeah, and yeah, there's no what's the word I'm trying to think of? There unnecessary, plot twist or whatever it may be. Everything
Hmm.
happens for everything that happens. There's a backstory behind it or whatever it may be. So, yeah, just a good entertaining movie. And like I said, boy, I wish they'd bring it back to the movie theaters just at least one more time here before too long. So, you could get a chance to see it, and because I'd really like to see it again at the movie theater.
Hmm.
So anyway, so yeah,
Yeah.
Jurassic Park.
Yeah, I think it's a summer blockbuster like Steven Spielberg can do them.
Well, I
So
think until what? Until it was the highest grossing movie until
Titanic.
yeah,
Yeah. And I think the movie that it surpassed was E.T.
which was Stevens as well,
Yeah,
right?
so
So
Steven
yes,
Spielberg is just topping himself.
exactly. So
Um, yeah, everyone just if you haven't watched this movie in a while, watch it. It comes on TV. If you've never seen it, you should watch it. Like it's got good actors in it. It's got amazing special effects, cool action, like the sound, the score. I mean, John Williams. You can't go wrong with John Williams.
and it's more. I like the score, so it's more orchestral. Is that the word I'm
Mm-hmm.
looking for? Than the like. It's not like the Raiders March, or the Death
Yeah.
Star and all that other. It's more melodious. It's more
It's
flowing.
interesting because it's like, yeah, it's like lighter than you would
Yeah,
think it would
yeah,
be.
yeah,
Like
yeah.
it's sometimes like if you think of movies where there's a lot of even like other John Williams, like you said, like Raiders of the Lost Ark, or like I think of like I watch the Lord of the Rings movies a lot, and like the music there is like it's like
Mm,
intense and loud, but this
yeah.
is like melodious is a perfect word for it because it is like it is just like this like sort of the music is sort of giving like the beauty of nature and like the sound design is giving you like the terror of nature kind of.
Exactly. Yeah. It's yeah, because it's the music, like the main theme. You hear it, when they first see the dinosaurs, and at the end of the movie when they see the seagulls flying, and it's like,
Hmm.
it's sort of like na 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 na. It's like what it could be, what it could be,
Yeah.
but we shouldn't do it. It's
Hmm.
sort of like that ideal that you
Hmm.
you you hold
Hmm.
off in the distance, but that's all it should be, is just that thought or that image, not trying to make it a real thing.
Yeah.
So anyway,
Absolutely.
I don't know.
Absolutely.
One old guy's opinion anyway. So
Yeah.
uh,
But it's a great movie. It's there's like some funny lines, there's
oh yeah.
action, there's like good characters. It's just there's just so much to offer and it's just like entertaining, I think, from front to back.
Now, did you rent it or did you?
I rented it from like Prime.
I think it was on Prime. I was going to say because
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure. No, I rented it on Prime because it wasn't free on Prime,
Yeah, yeah,
but I
yeah.
rented it. So
Which I have a problem with separately from this. If I am paying for Prime, why do I have to then pay you
I
again
know.
for a movie?
I thought I've thought the same thing because I thought if
Absurd.
yeah, if I'm
Jeff
renting
Bezos,
right, come on, yeah,
answer me this. I also think you can probably find this one at the library.
I didn't think to look, but you're probably
Yeah, I didn't
right.
either, but
Yeah,
like I mean I thought about it, but I like at that point I was not going to the library, but I think just for people listening, I think that you could find this at the
yes.
library. It comes on TV. I think that you could take it in for free in some way for sure.
Um, and I isn't it's another one. It's in the Library of Congress, or it's
It is,
been.
yes. It is it was selected in 2018 for preservation in the National Film Registry as
Mhm.
culturally, historically, or aesthetically significant. So, and it's like we said, it's like a phenomenon, right? It's got six
Yeah,
sequels at this point. There's video games, there's theme park attractions, there's comic books, there's whatever.
you name it.
There's
Yeah, uh-huh.
yeah.
It's good. Yeah, because I can remember, like we talked about, you've
Hmm.
been to Universal, what at
Hmm.
both places, I guess,
Yeah.
in Hollywood and Florida, and I've been to the one
Hmm.
in Florida. I mean, you can't fall over without hitting something that says Jurassic Park on it, or
Yeah.
down in there.
There
So,
used to be a Jurassic Park game at Chuck E. Cheese that I was really into.
oh, really?
Yeah. It was like one of the ones you sit on that shakes, and I think you had to like shoot the
You
dinosaurs that were
shoot the
trying to kill you.
dinosaurs?
Yeah.
Oh, so oh.
Yeah. Which is like not nice, but I think they were trying to kill you, so.
Oh, well, that in that case, yeah. If they were,
Well,
yeah, it's
it was a
yeah.
tasered gun, maybe.
Oh, okay. There you go. Or maybe a dart gun where you just put them
Yeah,
to
exactly.
sleep.
Just a
So,
little
yeah,
one of
like a
those
yeah. So,
blowgun. But yeah,
well,
I
I'm glad you got to see it again and then enjoyed it. So,
yeah, it's so fun. I had to keep rewinding to take notes because I was just like watching, and then I was like, oh crap, I have to write that down. I have to write that down.
and I still jumped when the damn goat leg fell on the top of the car. So it was like,
Yeah.
because I'd forgotten about that. I remembered about the goat, but then I forgot that that when she goes, "Where's the goat?" and then clunk,
Boom.
so, um, and then the sound of the T-Rex. I love that. So
Hmm.
I wonder if you could put that on your as your dial as your phone ring. The
Hmm.
T-Rex sound
Yeah,
from Jurassic Park. That'd be cool. So.
that would be great. That would be great. Yeah, I always think of the Jello, the shaky Jello, and the water cup.
Yeah.
Those are like the
Mhm.
pieces I always remember.
Um,
Just
it,
like,
and her shaking it was so good. It
hmm
was like, it was like,
yeah.
she was terrified. You could see that.
And we've seen with Jaws, right? Steven Spielberg is great at like building the anticipation.
Oh my
Like
God.
you're scared of the dinosaur before you even see the dinosaur.
Right. Yeah. You don't have to see it would like with the cow.
Uh-huh.
You didn't see the cow get eaten, but you knew that that wasn't that wasn't pretty. You know,
Nope.
so
Nope.
and without even seeing what happened to the cow or even seeing what ate the cow. So
Mm-hmm. And like the first time we actually lay eyes on the T-Rex, it's like actively chomping down on the goat.
goat.
It's like, oh, okay, great.
Yeah. So good movie, fun movie. And it still holds up after 30 years, I
A
think.
thousand percent, a thousand percent. It fully does. So I think that, like I said, if you haven't watched it in a while, watch it. If you've never seen it, you should watch it because it's
Yeah.
entertaining.
Yeah. Yeah, it's action, it's history, it's science, I won't say it there's a little bit of a love sort of a relationship thing,
Hmm.
but
Yeah.
yeah, so it's got strong characters, got strong,
Yeah.
um
There's
smart people.
there's a little bit of everything. And like I was never like that into dinosaurs, but it's an entertaining. You don't have to be into dinosaurs.
Yeah. So and
It's just a cool movie.
yeah, and then two of the strongest characters, by the way, are two of the ones that really save the day are Ellie
Hmm.
and the Lex.
Yeah.
She gets the computers
The
back online.
girls. Yeah.
Girls come through. So
Exactly. They're
yeah.
not like running around in heels like and Lex is screaming every 2 minutes, but she
uh,
is
uh, sh-
through when you need her.
well, and listen, I'd be screaming too, right beside of her, and probably outmatching her. So
Very true. Her screaming is valid and understandable.
right, exactly. Yeah, there's a reason for it, and yeah, yeah. So
It's well deserved.
yeah, so
But yeah,
any
so some girl power in this too.
yeah, exactly. So when you think about it, 30 years ago, that wasn't a big
Hmm.
thing. Not so much.
And I love that there is a specific line when she's like, we can talk about sexism in survival situations when I get back. Like,
That and
call it out, Ellie.
that's right. Women rule the world. Women rule the earth. Man
Yes.
dies. Women or dinosaurs
Hmm.
kill man. Women
Yes.
women rule the earth.
Yeah. She's like smart and cool. Like,
Yeah, yeah. So
what a
yeah.
great character.
Hmm. So
So, yeah, good catch, Jim. But yeah, watch Jurassic Park, everybody. Thank you all for listening. Please be sure to subscribe wherever you're listening to this so you can get our episodes delivered to you every Monday when they come out. Please be sure to leave a comment, a review, a rating. Hopefully, it's a nice one, or we will lower you down into that raptor pen.
like the poor helpless cow.
Yeah, you saw that cow? Mm
You didn't see much of it when it came up. So
hmm. You can follow us on Instagram at Some of Our Parts Pod. You can see all the movies that we have talked about thus far. We're at like, almost 200 movies. And so there's quite a variety there. You can see little previews of what's to come the day before a new episode comes out and whatever else we decide to share. And with that, bye bye
take care.
and hold on to your butts.